Today, we dive into a heavyweight storm brewing between the interim champ Tom Aspinal and the GOAT John Bones Jones. Buckle up, because Aspinal isn't holding back. Tom Aspinal isn't just knocking opponents out, he's knocking down walls of respect. The interim heavyweight champion has taken a direct shot at John Jones, accusing the reigning title holder of ducking him for a year. Ouch, that's not a jab, that's a haymaker. The drama started when Jones pulled out of his UFC 295 fight against Stipe Miocic due to injury. While Jones was sidelined, Aspinal stepped up, obliterating Sergey Pavlovich in just 69 seconds to claim the interim belt. Fast forward to UFC 309, and Jones is back, ready to face Miocic, but Aspinal is sitting on the sidelines, steaming. Aspinal, clearly fed up, let loose on his YouTube channel, calling John and Miocic fight a legends matchup, and not in a flattering way. Two old farts fighting for a disputed title, he quipped, adding, "This fight is more about resumes and retirement parties than crowning the best heavyweight." Shots fired. And here's where Aspinal doesn't mince words. He calls this so-called undisputed title fight a sham. Why? Because according to him, as long as he holds the interim belt, no one can truly claim to be the top dog. But it's not just about the belts. Aspinal is making it personal. He's throwing shade directly at Jones, claiming the MMA legend is ducking and diving to avoid a fight with him. And let's not forget, Jones isn't just any fighter. He's arguably the greatest of all time. So, what does it say when Bones isn't answering Aspinal's call? If you're not into gambling your legacy, that sounds like you're scared of losing against me. Those are Aspinal's words, and boy are they spicy. He's not just looking for a fight. He's looking to take Jones's crown and his legacy. Fans are eating this up. Some are siding with Aspinal, demanding Jones defend his belt against the younger, hungrier lion. Others, well, they're accusing Aspinal of trying to cash in on Jones's legendary name. Either way, this drama is keeping the heavyweight division alive and kicking. So, what's next? Will John Jones take the bait and fight Aspinal, or will this beef keep sizzling on the sidelines? Next up, it was supposed to be a regular weigh-in for Friday's showdown at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. But when you put a 58-year-old boxing legend and a 27-year-old YouTuber turned boxer face-to-face, things were bound to erupt. And boy, did they. Mike Tyson didn't just face off with Jake Paul, he slapped him. Yes, you heard that right. Tyson delivered a stinging slap that sent shockwaves through the crowd and social media alike. This wasn't just a tap, folks. Tyson's palm landed with authority, sparking chaos on the stage. Security scrambled, Jake looked stunned, and the crowd, they lost their minds. Now, let's rewind for a second. This fight is no ordinary exhibition. It's most valuable promotion's blockbuster main event. Tyson, the former undisputed heavyweight king, is looking to add one more highlight reel moment to his legendary career. Jake Paul? He's trying to prove he belongs in the ring with legends. At 58, Tyson might not be in his prime, but this man's fists are still weapons of mass destruction. Just ask Roy Jones Jr., who felt them back in 2020. Meanwhile, Jake Paul has built a career on shocking the boxing world, taking on big names and silencing doubters. But stepping into the ring with Tyson? That's a whole new level of danger. Tyson's last sanctioned fight was all the way back in 2005. But don't let that fool you. This man's muscle memory is built on decades of knockouts. As for Jake, he's riding the momentum of his youth and confidence. But let's be real. Does slapping Mike Tyson seem like a smart career move? Oh wait, he didn't even get the chance. Mike beat him to it. The slap sparked a wildfire on social media, with fans split right down the middle. Team Tyson is loving the old school energy, while Jake's fans are claiming it's all part of the mind games. One thing's for sure, this fight just got a whole lot more personal. It's old school versus new school, legacy versus clout. Tyson wants to remind everyone why he's one of the most feared men in boxing history. Jake Paul? He wants to prove he's more than just a YouTube star with boxing gloves. Next up, Nick Diaz, the Stockton bad boy and fan favorite, has found himself in hot water. Footage surfaced of a man resembling Diaz lighting a fire outside a YMCA in his hometown. The video doesn't just show the act, it captures a woman shouting Nick's name, followed by a brief, puzzling exchange. Initially, fans doubted it was Nick, but those doubts quickly evaporated when Diaz's longtime girlfriend took to Instagram, pleading for help and shedding light on his struggles. In a heartbreaking post, she revealed that Diaz's ongoing battle with drug addiction is spiraling out of control. Her plea was raw and emotional. Drug addiction doesn't last forever. You either find sobriety or it takes your life. Heavy words for a beloved figure in the MMA world. Nick Diaz isn't just any fighter, he's a pioneer of the sport. A former WEC and Strikeforce champion, Diaz never captured UFC gold, but earned his legendary status through iconic fights and his no-nonsense attitude. For older MMA fans, he's a walking, talking piece of fight history. But now, at 41, the future of this MMA great looks uncertain. Diaz's last fight, a disappointing loss to Robbie Lawler over 3 years ago, left fans questioning his place in the sport. However, in a shocking twist, Diaz announced his return. On December 7th, he's scheduled to face the dangerous Vicente Luque at UFC 310. But will this recent incident throw a wrench in the comeback plan? Let's not forget who Diaz is stepping into the cage with. Vicente Luque, a certified killer in the welterweight division. Known for his relentless pace and finishing ability, Luque isn't someone you take lightly, even if you're in peak condition. With these recent events, fans are left wondering, can Diaz even make it to fight night? Fans in the MMA community are torn. Some are expressing concern for Diaz's well-being, while others are questioning whether the UFC should allow him to fight at all. Social media is ablaze with debates, and the buzz around this story isn't slowing down. Despite the chaos, there's still hope. Diaz has overcome obstacles before, and his fans are rooting for him to turn things around. Whether he makes it to UFC 310 or not, one thing's for sure, Nick Diaz's story is far from over. Next up, the UFC gloves, one of the sport's most iconic pieces of gear, are making a return to their original design. Just 5 months ago, the UFC introduced a flashy new glove design, promising better fit, less injuries, and fewer eye pokes. Sounds like a win, right? Well, not so much. At the UFC 309 pre-fight press conference, Dana White didn't hold back. The UFC boss revealed it was his call to scrap the new gloves after fighters voiced their frustrations. Dana said, "We had good intentions with the new gloves, but they didn't work out. Fighters weren't happy." The gloves, first debuted at UFC 302 in June, were designed with all the bells and whistles: lighter weight, better flexibility, and improved protection. But instead of knocking it out of the park, they became a punching bag for criticism. One major selling point of the new gloves was preventing eye pokes, a persistent issue in MMA. But guess what? That didn't improve. Fighters also complained about discomfort and a surprising drop in knockouts. For fans of the brutal finishes we've come to love, this was a huge letdown. Even the GOAT himself, heavyweight champ Jon Jones, had issues. Jones revealed that the new gloves were so tight, he had to size up from XL to a 3XL. He called them very uncomfortable and admitted it was a huge relief when the UFC told him the old gloves were coming back for UFC 309. The fighter feedback wasn't subtle. Many celebrated the return of the old gloves, while others wondered why the UFC didn't test the new design more thoroughly. Heavyweight champ Jones even called the decision a lifesaver. On social media, fans are chiming in, with some hailing Dana's quick action, while others are roasting the UFC for the failed experiment. Dana confirmed the move is permanent, saying, "Yes, the new gloves are now the old gloves. That's vintage Dana, straight to the point." But what's next? While the UFC might revisit glove designs in the future, the June rollout is officially retired. With the old gloves back in action for UFC 309, it's business as usual. But the big question remains, can the UFC eventually design a glove that checks all the boxes? For now, fighters are just happy to go back to what works. So, fight fans, what's your take? Did Dana White make the right call, or should the UFC have stuck with the new gloves a little longer? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more Planet MMA. See you in the next round.